Hi there, I'm Ben, an RV technician here at Litzen RV, and today we're going to go over Winnebago's new Revel. It's on the new Mercedes chassis. There's a lot of new features to this. So as we go around, you will actually see a lot of new features. We'll go through them all. One of the new features that the Revel offers is the new upgraded screens. They're really nice. All we got to do is unbuckle them up here. It actually rolls down. And then there's two zippers that you can zip down all the way down to the base, and then after that it actually uses a magnet and Velcro on the side, so easy access in and out, and then it buckles right back up. Actually helps keep the bugs out a lot better and a lot easier to use. Then if we're gonna roll it back up, we're just gonna unzip them all the way to the top again, just like that. And then all we're gonna do is roll it straight up. Ooh. All right. And then once you get to the top, it does have this snap up here that we're gonna latch together, and that's gonna hold it up. And that allows you to go in and out without the screen down. All right, now moving around the corner here, there's a couple switches right around the corner down low here. We'll start at the first one down low here. That one actually is for the outside LED light that's on the passenger side up high by your speakers. Simply on and off. Coming up next, we have your house battery disconnect. And that's for disconnecting your 3 AGM batteries that are underneath for everything that Winnebago does in the backside. Simply on and off. You'll actually hear a click when that solenoid clicks on and off. And a lot of times that is mainly for storage. So anytime you're going to be using your coach, you're going to want that switch on, whether you're plugged in or not, because that's the only way your batteries will charge, or only way you'll have any power in the back of this RV. Next one up here is going to be the awning in and out. I'll demonstrate that in a second. Awning lights are the next one. It does have a green light there that tells you that the lights are on. If you shut it off, the light goes off. Next switch over is actually for the underlights that are underneath the steps on both sides. Simply on and off. And it actually gives you a new LED light that's on the end of the step treads too, which is kind of nice. Just makes it a little brighter, gives you a little more light out here at night. Shut that off. Okay, and then down below that, there's a little cap here that we're going to take off. This is one way to fill our freshwater tank. This is a gravity fill. So we can either put a hose in here and fill it till water's coming out, or you can take buckets, whatever you need to dump water in there. Close that, latch that. All right, right around here on the front side, we do have fresh water drain here and here. So here and here. Those are actually just low point drains. They're not made to drain your freshwater tank. Your freshwater tank is drained by a plug underneath. It's a little square plug that technically you kind of need a special tool to get up there and open it. We do offer them here for that. It's a square 1x1 pretty much wrench that takes that plug out. And that's going to be straight underneath here. Pretty much from your winterizing valve, go straight back. There's a little black plug right there. All right, here's the other way to fill your freshwater tank. And that you'll need a pressurized source. Just hook the hose up. You can fill it up to your monitor panel inside says full, or you'll actually have water start pouring back out once you are full. All right, over here's a winterizing valve. And if it's flipped down, it's normal operation. If you flip it up, it's in winterize. What that does is actually turns on this siphon hose. So you'll hook your hose into here, which is actually in the black bag, little hose that you're gonna put in the RV antifreeze. Put that in RV antifreeze, flip that up, turn your water pump on, and then go to any source of water. So your rear faucet, front, bathroom, and run them until you get paint coming out from that RV antifreeze. That's how you know you're all winterized all the way through. And then when you go to use it again, make sure this goes back down to normal operation. Otherwise, you won't get any pressure coming from your freshwater tank or your water pump. All right, we do have the outside table here. Let me grab the leg quick. All right, so we do have the new mount for the table here. It's actually going to use this little T-lock up here. Which makes it really easy. You're going to take this plug out. There's a little black plug here that just plugs the hole there. You want to make sure that T-handle is screwed all the way out. We're going to go in with it and just screw to the right. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Flip that top latch up, then come straight down. So really easy to use. And then we're just going to reverse that to put the table away. So now we're going to come up, latch to lock it in place, and then to the left to release the leg. So really easy to use. We'll put that plug back in. Just kind of covers everything up, makes it look a lot better. All right, the other thing we have here, that's a new feature, is now the powered sliding door on the side. We have a couple places we can actually run this from. So key fob is one of them. We're going to hold that bottom button. Door will close. Just like that. Same thing to open it. Hold that button. It's going to open it. Other way is we could actually just pull the handle itself. That will allow it to close, so you don't have to have your keys on you to close the door. Same thing with open it. Pull that handle. And then when we go inside, I'll actually show you there's one more button inside the door that you can open from inside too. Okay, so I'll actually just close that for now. Oh, actually, let's go through the awning quick. We're gonna run the awning out. So simply push the awning button once. It's gonna bring that awning out automatically. Once it gets to full extension, it will stop. So let that come out. There it is. So it comes all the way out, stops. We do have that LED light strip that is in the end. So as you can see up high there, the LED light strip, that switch was right inside the door. That's lighted switch again for on and off, which makes this patio area really bright at night. Does a really good job. We do have a built-in wind sensor too on this awning. So if it senses too much vibration, it's gonna automatically put itself away. But like I tell everyone, don't always trust that. If you're gonna leave your coach or go to bed, put the awning away. It's just safer to put it away when you're gone so no accidents happen, because a big wind gust could take this off. So just make sure we put it away when we're not using it. All right, then I'll go back in with it. Push the button once on the inside, it's gonna put itself away. Shut those lights off. Too. All right, well that's putting away. Let it go here. Just shut this light off really quick. Okay, and with that sliding door, you can stop it at any location too, as I just did there. Just either pull the handle again, hit your key fob. It can stop at any location. As you can see up high was that LED light that we talked about, that bottom switch that was inside for running that LED light. Coming down lower here in the back, we do have a 110 volt outlet here. And we also have portable solar. So we do have solar on the roof already. This is just if you want to do an expansion kit, pretty much add another solar panel. We can hook up here and it's pre-wired into our solar controller already. Close that. All right, let's go down low to the tires. So these are upgraded tires. Winnebago did change them this year. They do have TPMS in them, you do have to be moving for that TPMS to actually engage. So once you take off, you can look on the dash and it will actually tell you all your tire pressures. Tire pressures are 49 on the front tires, 70 on the rear tires. That actually is on the yellow sticker inside your driver's door. So it's nothing you have to remember. It's right there. Plus your TPMS will allow you to see what your tire pressures are. New for this year too, we do also have more ground clearance. So the exhaust pipe has actually been raised up, which gives us that little bit extra ground clearance on this, which is nice. So when we're off-roading, doing any of that stuff, you got that little bit extra clearance. All right, we'll move to the back door here. Another upgrade for this year is a locking pin. That's really nice because now your ladder is secure. Nobody can take your ladder, anything. The key is actually on your key ring. Okay, so on the key ring, we have two keys. The smaller one of the black two small keys is actually for the ladder. The little bit bigger one is actually for your cassette toilet on the other side. So for the ladder, we're just gonna, has this little retainer here, pop that out of the way, put the key in, turn it to the left, and then now we can actually screw that out. And that will release the ladder. So once you take that off, set that down for now, ladder can release, and then we can actually pop the ladder off. And then we can move it pretty much anywhere down the driver's side, anywhere that pretty much is not obstructed. So there's 3 or 4 locations that you can actually put this ladder on that driver's side. Or you can simply leave it here and still get up and down from this point too. Now all we're gonna do is go up, rehook that, line that hole back up, screw that back on, and then relock it in place. Put that little rubber retainer back in place just to keep any road grime, any of that stuff out of that lock. All right, now we're gonna move to the rear of the coach. All right, another new feature that we do have for this year is the doors do open and stop right here. So it does allow you to open these all the way, and the ladder will not hit the coach, not go all the way on that side either. All right, on the back, we got a new upgraded screen. So kind of like the side one, it does work on magnets too. It does have magnets on the sides. So easy access in and out, getting to your garage. One feature they have is you can roll this up just part way, use the latches here, and that allows you to access anything in here. Otherwise, our other option is to zip these all the way up. I won't go all the way up with them, but we'll get close. Unclip, unclip, and then we can finish rolling this all the way up. All right, so we'll go all the way up with it. And right now I have the bed down. Actually, this is easier from the inside when the bed's up, but we'll do it this way. Okay, latched in place. Now it's out of the way. So again, you can bring that down, bring the zippers down, and then use the magnets to swing in and out to access everything in there. Down low, if we look in the bedroom here, down low, way in the back there, we do have a 110 volt outlet way back in the back wall there. The bed, I will show you when we go inside. There's a key and a switch inside that actually lifts that up and down. All right, down low, you do also have these tie downs, which are here, here, all the way around the back of the garage. That allows you to strap things down, make them secure. What you're gonna do is you're gonna grab this and pull up, twist, and slide it out. So it's spring loaded. So that's how you latch these in place, just like that, and just push like that. So down, in, lock in place. Again, you do have those all the way around down here to tie things down. Also on the driver's side here, we do have an outside faucet. We have hot and cold, and it is a quick release here. Your Revel is going to come with a hose sprayer, and all it is like an air hose. We're just going to push in, it's going to lock it in place, and then you can either use hot or cold or both back here. When you do get done using this and you're ready to disconnect it, make sure you shut your water pump off or shut your hose off, relieve the pressure off this hose, and then release it. Otherwise, you're going to get a bath. Just like that. Otherwise, under pressure, it's going to spray everywhere. And what I like to do is once I release this, go like this and hold it open like this, just to get all the water out of the hose. Make sure also when you winterize that you remember to come back here and get this faucet. A lot of people forget these, and these are the first ones that break. So make sure you do winterize this. Okay, up above, there's two switches. We do have a water pump switch and a switch that's not labeled. That switch that's not labeled is for the LED light that's on the driver's side up high. And that's that one. All right. So now, actually, as we pan back, we do have a couple more things in the bedroom here. And if you look up high, we do have two lights that do have push buttons just right on the front of them. So that's when we're using the bed, we can access those reading lights just by push that little button. Right beside the lights, we have USB chargers and a 12-volt outlet. And then, I don't know if you can see them, the two light switches on the wall. One of them is actually for the ceiling lights, the LED strip lighting that's up there. The other one is for two lights that are on the bottom of the bed. So when the bed's up, now we have two lights on the bottom of the bed that we can actually turn on for the back area here. And that's what the second switch is for there. If we look up on the ceiling up there, up front, there is a carbon monoxide detector. So that's closer to the bedroom. So when we're sleeping, any carbon monoxide, that's the detector for that. We do have a smoke detector in front that you'll see when we go up front. If we pan up to the AC up there, all the controls are right on the AC itself. The back control is actually the thermostat. So we're using this little line on the back of the, pretty much the back of the AC, that little black line there is where we set everything to. Simply colder or hotter is all you're doing. The front switch there is actually how we set high cool, low fan, high fan. So if you just want to circulate air and not turn the actual compressor on, that's what your high fan and low fan are for. It's a good way to get a little bit of white noise, kind of drown out other noises in the campgrounds. Otherwise, go to high cool or low cool if you want to actually cool the unit. Up on the AC2, on the right side and left side, there are filters. So that's what those grates are. If you see those get really dirty, pull them down, clean them, put them back up. They're reusable filters. A lot of times if you rinse them out, let them dry, then put them back up. Only time you'd ever have to replace those is if they fell apart over time or something. Otherwise, you should just be able to keep using them. Also up high there, if you see that seat belt up there, that seat belt is for when we take the bed up. There's a clip on the bed. It's when we travel. It's to lock that bed in just in case something would happen, that bed's not going to fall. So anytime you travel, just lock that in place. It's just a safety. All right, so we do have all of our towing stuff down below. Have 7-pin adapter here on the side for trailer. So 7-pin adapter there, your receiver's in the middle, and we do still have that 5,000 pounds of towing, 500 on the vertical tongue weight. So anytime, we haul bikes, any of that stuff, I mean, really consider that 500 pounds. So we don't want to exceed that 500 pounds on that tongue weight. All right, now we're going to move to the driver's side. All right, on the driver's side, we have our 30 amp hookup right here. So this is the cord that comes with the coach. It does give you a little blue light when it says we do have power. There's another light on the other side of the cord that does say you have power coming from the pole. All it is a matter of undoing this retainer that's on here. It just screws on, twist, and then pull. And then when you travel, close that so we don't get all that road debris in there. Back up. Then all we're gonna do here is we're lining that little L up. There's one on the actual plug there that lines up perfect with that. So we're gonna put that in, push in, twist a little bit, and then just screw that retainer on there to hold your cord onto the coach. And that's just so when people walk by, they're not kicking your cord, pulling it off your coach, you're losing power. Good idea always is to have some kind of surge protection too. And that's just gonna protect all your electronics and everything inside. So again, on this coach, it would be a 30 amp surge protection on that. But good idea to have one. Okay. If we look up high, that is the LED light that we were talking about, that the switch is right above the faucet in the back of the coach. All right. Now we're gonna go here, and we have our cassette toilet. So the other key that's on your key ring is actually for the cassette toilet, and that's gonna be the bigger of the two. And just gives you the ability to actually lock this cassette toilet. Good trick is too, it's hard to push both buttons at the same time. Put both fingers around the outside, push with your thumbs, and then pull up. Then all we gotta do to dump is there's a little blue lever down low here. We're gonna grab that blue lever, pull up, slide it straight out, and this is our cassette toilet. Here and here. All we're gonna do is twist this way, take this lid off, and then literally dump it into the dump station. This blue button back here is an air breather. So when you're dumping, you can push that, allows air to come in, makes things flow out a lot better. And then all we gotta do is put the caps back on, slide that back up, and then we're just gonna go straight back in until you hear it lock into place. Really easy to do. It's not bad pulling the cassette out, dumping it. Down below that, we do actually have our gray dump. So at the same time, we're gonna dump our gray tank along with our black tank. And that's down here. We're just a matter of taking this cap off here. And there's one T-handle right to the left here. All we're gonna do is pull straight out on that, and that will dump our 21-gallon gray tank. So we got 5 gallons of black, 21 of gray, and 21 of fresh in this coach. So there's not a lot of water on board, but it still gives you all the amenities of having your gray tank and your black tanks. All right, and there are tie downs on the back of the actual steps here. Here. So that could be for dogs, anything, put leashes, whatever you want to there. All right, moving above that, we're gonna go into a city fill. So what a city fill's for is if the resort offers water, that's where we're gonna hook the hose up to. Hook it up, turn your water pump off, and then we're gonna use the pressure from that hose to feed our coach. Another good idea is a pressure regulator. So what that does, it regulates all of our pressures down to 40 to 50 PSI. And then that just doesn't allow for big surges of water to get into our coach. So definitely a good idea to have that too. A lot of people do also have inline filters, which filter out sediments, particles, any of that stuff before it ever gets into our systems. Because sediments, all that stuff actually make your faucets wear out a lot faster, actually hurt things a lot. So it's a good idea to have a filter. All right, we're gonna move forward. Okay, so moving forward, we're going to our diesel tank. This is very pure diesel, low sulfur diesel, which is pretty much all they offer anymore. And that's there. It is secure whenever the door is closed, and you have this door closed. So if I close the door and lock it, it is secure. Open your door, open this, then you can close your door again after you open the little lid there. Right around the corner here on the yellow sticker, it It's gonna have all of our serial numbers, VIN numbers, tire pressures are also on that sticker there. That's where it's gonna tell us that 49 and 70 on the tire pressures. Down below the driver's seat here, just in front of that sticker, we're gonna have a little access panel that we pull off. We do have some ATO fuses in there. A lot of the stuff that's under here is Mercedes. So if you have anything wrong with dash, any of that stuff, always check here. There's some more underneath the dash too that we can check. Winnebago has its own in the back underneath the seat, which we'll talk about later. Good idea to always have extra fuses with you. More than likely nothing's going to happen, but if it does, it's nice to have them with you. Now we'll move above that to the seat here. So the seat kind of works the same as the older models, except it does have electric lumbar support in it. We do crank up here and it does raise the front up. You still have that pump. If I pump it up, raises it, pump it down, lowers the seat. There's another knob in the back here that actually controls your backrest. And another new feature is actually there's a release underneath here, which extends out the seat a little bit. Gives you a little more of a base there. Pull that again, and that release is right in front underneath the middle there. One more thing that's new is the release for the seat is actually in the front now to swivel it. It's not in the back. So it's a whole different release. Your chassis battery is still located under the floor, underneath the driver's feet. There's a little battery symbol there. So we can access that way. There is a disconnect still. It's just a little bit harder to get to. There's a panel that you have to pop off. That's right here. And it still has that same pull disconnect that we had in earlier models. Hood release is still around the corner here. That's just a matter of pulling down to release the hood. All right, now we'll come out to the driver's door, right on the edge here. So we do have our handle release here. Locks are actually on the door handle now. We have window controls for both the driver and passenger. We have mirror controls here. And then we have the selectors here for which mirror you're gonna control. You can actually tip the mirrors in also. There's a button in the middle that we can tip mirrors in and out on that. All right, now we'll move just into the dash just a little bit. And right here's our light control. So we have running lights, you now have auto lights, and then we have full lights on. You have fog lights, and then we do also have a dimmer switch there to dim the backlighting of the dash itself. Underneath the steering wheel here, we do have a steering wheel control that we're going to pull down. It will go up and down and also telescope in and out too. Lock it into place wherever you want to be. And the rest we'll go through when we go inside the RV. All right, now we're going to go around to the front. Okay, so now coming up front, a couple of the new things that we have is we do have avoidance systems. So we do have blind spot avoidance, we do have front end, collision, rear end. There's sensors all over this coach that actually give us that avoidance system. We can control those systems inside on the dash. So you can either turn them on, you can turn them off. And we'll go through a dash, I'll show you how to do that. All right, so up in the hood itself here, we do have our brake fluid on the right side here. Windshield washer fluid is actually down below that. We do have a remote terminal here for the chassis battery. Since the chassis battery is underneath the driver's floor, they just give you a remote terminal in case we ever have to jump it, jump somebody else. Right here's the 12-volt positive. The ground is actually on the sidewall over there. If I go right below this straight down, which is really hard to see right now, the power steering actually sits right down in there. Oil filters just over in front of that, cartridge oil filter. We have our chassis air cleaner here, filter. You do have a cab air filter over here. Then down below that, we have our oil fill. And the new Revels do not have a dipstick. They have a plug that goes in there. So they're gonna want you to base it on, you can actually check your oil level on your dash. So base it on the oil level, what the dash is telling you for oil level. Next over is your engine coolant. And then in front of that is your DEF, diesel exhaust fluid. So this is something we do have to add. We do have a gauge on the dash that tells you how much you have. Make sure we don't run out of this. This you can pick up at any diesel stations, Walmarts, RV places, it doesn't matter. It usually comes in a 2.5 gallon jug, or they offer it right at the pumps now. What I would do is I would at least drive 1,000 miles before I would top this off. We want to use some of it up. It actually crystallizes, so we do want to use some of it. We don't want to keep it topped off at all times. Let it go down a little ways and then top it off. Just make sure you don't run out, because once you run out, your coach is not going to like it. It actually will shut you down. So once you get down pretty low, get some in there. Also, we do have the new upgraded headlights. And actually with our headlights, they're pretty much smart headlights. Let's just say that. So when we have certain things set inside, they will actually dim down and turn the brights on. Your fog lights, anytime we are turning, it will choose which fog light to turn on, like around a curve. It will turn the left one if you're turning left. If you're turning right, it will turn the right one on, which just allows you to see a little bit better on what side you're turning on. So it's actually really nice. This system actually got really, really smart in the last year. Okay, so moving around to the side here. We have just a couple more things and then we'll head inside. Okay, so way down low here, you'll see just a little black compartment there. This one actually has your jack in it. It sits down in there. All right, underneath the seat, we have Winnebago 12-volt breakers. So this is Winnebago side. Everything's labeled what they go to. All right, so we have like solar, coach battery panel, battery mode switch, and chassis battery power. So again, a good way to think of it is driver's seat is Mercedes, passenger seat is Winnebago. So Winnebago puts a lot of wiring under there. If you ever have a problem with Winnebago stuff, always look here, and then we'll always look in the fuse panel and breaker panel in the back too. Other new feature we do have on the front end here is we have a lot more airbags now. So we have side airbags, front airbags, airbags everywhere, which is good. We have a lot more safety features in this. Passenger door, we do have the locks on the door itself. Again, the handle and mirror control. The passenger seat works identical to the driver's seat. So it has that powered lumbar and has the pump and the cranks that actually adjust, and then does have that leg adjustment in the front there. Okay, now that we went kind of around the whole outside, now actually let's step inside and we'll go through everything inside. Okay, now that we're inside here, we will start on the driver's side here. For the window wise, all we're gonna do is the tab open, push out. It's gonna stay in place. All you gotta do is pull back down to release. You can set it right to the middle there, which just cracks the window open just a little bit. Still makes it secure, but gives you a little bit of airflow. Otherwise, it's all the way in, and latch, and that will seal the window. We do have privacy shade from the bottom, and we have a screen from the top. Back up. All right, up above that, we do have a storage cabinet. Push button in the middle, lift up, and we have a couple things in here. You have Winnebago's black bag. So that's gonna be where all your manuals are. All your manuals, everything will actually be in this black bag. You do have a copy of your window stickers. So your window stickers actually will have all of your options on it. We'll have all the standard options that came with the coach. And then on the back side of that, we'll have all your tank sizes, your heights, lengths, widths, serial numbers, model numbers. So just a copy of the window sticker there. Have your Mercedes manual. So anything to do with the chassis, refer to the Mercedes manual. That manual is also on the dash now too. So we can access that on the dash. Do have operator's manual. So this is going to actually help you operate things in this coach. In the rear section here, there's actually a maintenance chart. Let me find it. Okay, it's in one of the last chapters is actually the maintenance chart. It actually will walk you through all the maintenance. So when to check things before each time you go out, yearly, monthly. It's going to tell you, kind of walk you through general maintenance of your coach. It's a good idea to always refer to that and kind of keep up on that maintenance. One of the worst things for coaches is to neglect them, pretty much. Allow seals to fail, batteries to fail, any of that stuff. So if we can keep up on that, it's just going to help things as you're out camping. All right, other manual we have is the supplement manual. So supplement manual is every manual for every single thing in this coach. So if you want to find the manual for the induction cooktop, go in here. It's all subcategorized in the front. Right there, makes things a lot easier to find. So any problems with anything, go to your manuals first. Usually that's going to walk you through and you'll figure out how to do it. Okay, so that's the black bag. Any problems, always go to that black bag. All right, other thing we have is tire wrench. So since the upgraded wheels are on here, they have special lug nuts. That's what this is for, to take those lug nuts off. So they give you this tire wrench. Okay, then we just go back down with it. Let it close. Push the button to lock into place. All right, we'll start way on the right side here. So way on the right side in the back, we're gonna have your one place panel. So the one place panel is actually gonna tell you, if I push that right button here, tell you battery level. So it's gonna give me chassis battery level and it will also give me house battery level. Next one over is gonna be tank. It will tell me freshwater tank and gray water tank. It will not tell you black. You actually have to look at the gauge on the toilet itself to see how much black that you have in there. They all, gray and fresh, go up by thirds. So 1/3, 2/3 to full. Next switch over on that one place panel is actually a water pump. So that's how we can turn the water pump on and off from inside the coach here. Again, you also have that second one that's in the rear of the coach by the faucet. And it doesn't matter where you turn it on and off at. You can turn it on here, shut it off back there. Doesn't matter. Go to the next one over is our ZAMP solar controller. So that's for our solar panels that are on the roof. Literally, this is just a readout. We really can't do much with it. We can look at how many amps it's given us, how many amp hours, and then battery voltage. Pretty much with solar, it's either going to work or not work. So they don't really want you touching it. There is a button here that for battery type. Don't ever change that unless you change the type of batteries that you have on board. So right now it's set up for AGMs because we have those 3 AGM batteries underneath. So if you would switch over to lithium or any of that stuff, then we would have to change the kind of batteries that we have. Then these lights down here are status lights, just kind of what the solar panels are doing. Good way to think of the solar panels is as trickle charger. So what they're going to do is they're going to recharge your batteries. They might not keep up with all your demand, but they're going to prolong it. They'll actually help recharge those batteries. So if we're out and we're not using a lot, your batteries are going to be topped off if it's sunny out. Down below that is a electric element for the water heater. So it's an assist for the S-bar heater. So we can run electric and we can run gas. Really cool temperatures. We're going to want to run that gas. It's the more efficient way. The electric, again, is going to be an assist for that. All right, beside that is going to be our inverter. So with the inverter, a lot of the inverters for is our plugins and our induction stove. And that's if we're not plugged in, we're going to use the inverter to run any of those things. And simply power on, power off. And once I power that on, if we weren't plugged in, you would hear the induction power up. Then you know you're good. You can select through here. It's just going to give you codes, alarms, kind of what that inverter is doing. All right, come to this side. We have 3 switches. So the one on the right is under lighting. So here and here. The one in the middle is actually my main lights in the living area here. Middle is off, up is low, down is high. All right, next one over is actually going to be our bathroom lights. So that furthest one out is actually for the bathroom. Same thing, off, high, low. Okay, now we go up to our S-bar heater. So this is all of our heating, and it's also all of our hot water. One thing to remember though is pretty much no matter what you're going to do, just turn all 3 switches on. So to have the system run, pretty much we need the system on, the furnace on, and hot water on. The fan here is actually controlling the blower fan. You have 2 different speeds there. And then once you turn power on to these, now the thermostat will get power, and you can adjust the room temperature. So if I just go power, that will actually turn the system on. The top number is room temperature. The bottom number is actually your set point. So I can actually change that bottom number by pushing down or up if you want hotter. A good thing to remember in freezing conditions is we do have to have this thermostat on. So for that circulation pump that we have on board that's going to keep your fresh water thawed out, if you would shut this off, so if I shut that furnace off and actually turn this power off, it's not going to be running that circulation pump. So make sure you at least have this set at a low temperature, but on is our main thing with that. Other than that, S-bar is really easy to use. Runs off your diesel tank. You'll hear it ramp up. It has multiple speeds depending on the demand. Shut that off, that off, that off. Okay, the next switch we have above that is actually for our bed in the back. So it has a little key in here for off or on, and then it's simply up or down. The one thing you'll want to make sure is you undo that safety belt that's back there. It has that little release, undo it, and then we can run it up and down. And then if you don't want anyone messing with it, you can pull the key out and then no one can do anything with it. Just like that. All right, we actually go right above that now. So right above that, we have our fan that's in the ceiling here. We can control everything on the roof here, or we do also have a remote. So this remote actually works as a thermostat also. So we can set temperatures on here and put it in an auto function. And if I have a temperature set, if it gets hotter than that in here, it's going to raise up automatically and start venting out. Once it cools down below that, it will automatically shut it again, which is kind of nice, especially with animals, any of that stuff. It's nice to have that option. And then we can actually control fan speeds up here. You can set a thermostat up here also, but it's only one temperature. If you hold that button, it sets it to 78 degrees. Anything warmer than that, it will open. You have an on-off button here, and then there's a crank way on this side. So what that crank's for, if our motor would ever fail, it allows us to manually crank that down. All right. And like I said, it's just power here. If we want to turn it on, automatically lifts up and starts venting out. Nice thing about these fans too is we can have them on when we travel, in the rain, doesn't matter because they are covered. They have a built-in cover on them, which is kind of nice. If you ever need to get the screen down for cleaning, it's just these white clips here. Just turn them sideways, turn all of them sideways, and then that screen can come down and you can clean that screen. Okay, now we'll move into the bathroom. The bathroom door does have 2 latches. So it has a clip latch up high and then also has this turn latch, which is just a secondary latch so that door doesn't come open while we travel. So make sure we open that, pull, and then the door does fold in half, giving you a little bit more room. All right, so in the bathroom wise, there are two shelves here. They can be moved around or removed whenever we need to go to the bathroom, take showers, any of that stuff. Showers up high, which we do have a shower head here. And again, that's that quick release. It's the same thing as the rear one. It's almost like an air hose. Just push in, snaps in place, take pressure off, release it. Hot and cold. Left is hot, cold is on the right side. We do have a stopper up top here that does shut all water flow off. Since you are limited to the amount of water you have on board, military showers. Short and sweet, pretty much. A lot of people will set the temperature once, and then now we control it with that shutoff valve that's on top of the shower head. All right, you do have a drip rod that is up high. So that's mostly for wet towels, swimming trunks, stuff like that. We got to be careful that we don't put a ton of weight on this. Just be careful with it. Don't use it as a pull-up bar. Up above here, we do have an exhaust fan. You push up in the center, and then we push the little red switch that's on it. Anytime we're taking showers, using the bathroom, we probably should have that running just to get rid of moisture. And then when you're done, just grab the middle and then pull down. And that brings it back down to seal it. You do also have your shower curtain in here, which there are snaps right in the front here. That will actually snap, allowing it to drape down, giving you a little bit more room, and you don't have to close this door. Have your 10-foot sewer hose that comes with it. There is a sewer hose holder on the back of the coach underneath on the passenger side. It's a little black hose holder that this will slide right into. Down in your cassette toilet, there is a water valve on the back. It's a little blue button that you're going to push. That allows it to fill water or flush things down. And then in the front, you'll see a little gray lever that we're just going to pull sideways. That opens it and drops it down into the black tank, into that little cassette that we showed you. There's a little gauge on the side that will show green or red, depending on how full that tank is. So if it's way up in the red, you're full. Down in the green, you're empty. Shower drains down the bottom. Also in the back of the bathroom, there is a dry storage. So that allows for toilet paper, other things we don't want to get wet back there. Okay, then we'll close the door, close, and then again, always do that latch just to keep it secure while you travel. The table leg that I use for the table outside is always stored right in front of the bathroom door. There's two clips right behind your front seat here. Over here, we do have closet here, which is pretty much pantry. A couple shelves that are adjustable anywhere you want to go in here. There is an access panel that's down below that. That's simply just to get to the, pretty much the radiator that's behind there for your heat. There's a 110 plug-in right below your induction here. Induction up here. Again, you'll need special pans to make the induction work. All the controls are right on front. And again, it's not going to do anything until you put one of those magnetic pans on there. All right, down below that is, there's another switch right in the middle, right above the fridge. It's a macerator pump. That's the only way to drain this kitchen sink. So pretty much do your stuff and then hold that, and that's going to pump it into the gray tank. And you do have to hold it the whole time that it's pumping out. Another plug-in right below your kitchen sink. Kitchen sink, we're just going to flip open. Faucet flips up, and then you can swivel from that point. You're going to pull out on the handle. Down towards me is cold, up is hot. The one thing you want to remember, whenever we go to put this away, always keep it off, but turn it down to the cold side. If you leave it up on the hot side, when you close the glass, it actually turns your faucet on. So swivel it down to the cold, then swivel your faucet down, and then you can close the glass lid. You do have your 12-volt fridge down below me here, which does have a travel latch on it. On the left side, it has a little lever that you swing over. That's going to keep that door closed while we travel. Your controls are inside for temperature controls on that fridge, so you can set it to colder or hotter in there. Then we do have 3 drawers down on this side here. A couple other goodies that come with your coach is a free sample of black tank deodorizer and sanitizer. So that will go down in your actual cassette toilet. Just helps break things down, helps for smells. And then we do have your winterizing hose. So your winterizing hose, again, gets hooked up outside, and that's how we draw the RV antifreeze in. All right, and then your remote for your vent fan actually comes with a mount. So if you do want to mount it somewhere, you can. Kind of up to you. Okay, we'll actually come down low here. So right underneath this front seat here, we do have a couple things. Here on the right side is, if I push on the bottom and flip up, this is all your 110 volt breakers. So anything to do with the 110 volt system, that's going to be over here. They're going to trip just like at home. You shut them off, turn them back on to reset them, and everything is labeled to what it goes to. Here on the right side, you're going to grab on the bottom and pull out. And actually, this is going to be all your 12 volt fuses. Everything is labeled on the back of the front panel. That tells you what every fuse goes to. Nice thing about this is there's LED lights right beside here. So if a fuse blows, it's actually going to show you an LED light that tells you which one is actually tripped, which is really nice. Again, this is what I was talking about, is why you would want maybe just an extra set of fuses with you, just in case something happens. That. Okay, next thing we're going to do is make the bed up. That's up front here. It's actually really easy to do. There's not a lot to it. First thing I'm going to do, there's a button here on the back side of this front cushion. And then there's also one back here further. So I'm going to release those buttons. Let's just get that cushion out of the way for now. All right, so now what we're going to do here is I'm going to lift up on this. You'll actually see a bar on the back side here. So when we're in normal seat operation, that bar is going to fit in this slot here. When I wanted to make it into a bed, I'm going to lift, flip it around. Now there's another spot back here that this bar actually needs to go in. Just like that. You want it to sit in there, which now gives us this little platform that's on the front here. So that platform is actually going to hold our other cushion. Now what we're going to do is flip this counter extension up, lock it in place. There's a release right here on this side that's going to flip this whole thing down, just like that. So that's giving us another platform. And what we want to do is go over, put the cushion up there. That's actually going to put it in place and make this bed up that's up front. There's a filler cushion here that can actually still sit up front here. If you want to, give you a little bit more headroom up there or off to the side, one or the other. Not a big bed, but it does give you another sleeping spot, which is kind of nice. Now let's reverse that. Go here. Again, remove this cushion. Then we're going to flip this around. Put our seat belts up. There you go. Sometimes that's hard to find. Buckle that, and then we're just going to put this filler cushion back in. Just like that. Now with the table, we're going to go back up with the extension, and then we're going to lock that back into place, just like that. And now the extension has release right down on the bottom here. So pull that, comes down, gets out of the way. So really easy to do. Right around the corner here now. Kind of hard to see, it's on the back side here. But there is another button right here. That's for your door. So that's for our main sliding door to open or close. So if we're inside, we can just push that button once, and that will actually open, close, or stop it. And it is a lighted switch once you push it. All right, so now back over here to the front of the seat. We do have another plug-in down low here, which is a GFI plug-in. So it does have that little reset button on the front of it. If for some reason you don't have power in your plug-ins, come check that GFI. Table-wise, I grab, pull straight up, locks into place, and then actually this will flip this way. This is mainly for once I have this seat out of the way and rotated, then it gives you a table for both sides. Then what we're gonna do is push that back in. And then underneath there's two releases. So that one and one on that side, that releases it back down. And you push it in like that. And in a lot of places around the coach here, you'll see these mounts. These are ram mounts. So the ram mounts, actually there's a ton of accessories that can be clipped in there for your cell phones, iPads, any of that stuff. But they're down here, up here, in the kitchen area, all over the coach, which is kind of nice. Gives you a lot of features that you can add afterwards. Also above you do have another USB port up top here for charging or anything. Okay, now that we went through pretty much everything on the backside that Winnebago does, why don't we go up front and we'll talk about some of the Mercedes. Okay, now we're up front in the new Mercedes chassis. A lot of new features up here. This whole dash, everything is completely different. So a lot of new features that are nice and actually help with safety, help with avoidance, everything. We're gonna start right here on the steering wheel pretty much. All right, so on the steering wheel, smart steering wheel. All of the stuff on the right side is actually radio controlled stuff. So any of these buttons here is gonna be radio or for answering your phone, volume of the radio. Over here is hands-free calling. Another thing that's a little confusing to people is this little black square in the middle. It's a push button, but it's also a scroller. So if I scroll left or scroll right just by rubbing my thumb over it, it's actually gonna scroll that radio right to left. And then if you wanna select something, then you're gonna push that button and that will actually select it. Then if you wanna go back on the screen is that one on the right, and then back to the home screen is the one on the left there. Okay, so now here on the left side of the steering wheel is we do have all of your cruise control, which is down the bottom here. You have set, up and down is USL and decel. On the left side here, you have resume and cancel. And then on the right side, we do have your adaptive cruise setting for how sensitive you want it. And adaptive cruise is nice because if we have a cruise set, it will actually look at the vehicle in front of you and slow you down to that speed of that vehicle. And then if he exits or speeds up, it will speed back up to your set speed. And then that's how far you want it to slow you down. So how close you want to get to that car in front of you is how sensitive we make that adaptive cruise. Up above here is going through the two buttons on the left side here is going through all of your dash options. So we can scroll through, again, that square there is just sensitive. So you just rub your finger over it and it will scroll through. You got the home button here, which will take you back out to the main settings. And in those settings, we can actually do navigation, we can do radio, we can do phone, we can do a lot of stuff up on the dash that we have actually on our radio too. So that's kind of nice. Cruise on and off is up on the right side there. Up on top here, on the right side here, is we have your shifter. So the shifter is a little different now. It's an electric shifter. So what we're gonna do is actually just click down to put it in drive. You'll click it down. To do park, you'll actually have to push this button right here. Push that button and automatically puts it in park, but you have to remember to push that button. Neutral is not park. So if you push the button, make sure it says park up there. Click it up to actually do reverse. And once we go down to drive, we do have two paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel here. One for positive, which is the right one for negative. That's shifting gears manually. So if you want to manually shift, that's where we do it on the paddles on the back here. On the left side of the steering wheel here, if we twist it, that's your windshield wipers. Blinkers are up and down, and then brights and dims are pulling towards you or pushing back. Okay, so now we'll go into starting it. Starting is a little different. We're a push button start. So you might be used to having a key we don't have a key for this. What we have to do is push the brake in and then hold the start. It does take a little bit, so hold it and it will start. And then up here, it does say we're in park, and it will show you all your shifting points out front there. So that'd be if I hold the brake in and I would push this down now. Now we went into drive. Now, if I go up, now it's in reverse. Down, neutral. When we're in neutral, we're not in park. So you gotta push that N button, and that puts you back in park. And then all I gotta do is push this button once, and it shuts the engine off. If you just want to turn accessory on and don't want to start the engine, we're gonna push that button twice. Just like that. Now we're actually on position, but we're not running. All right, from that point is where we can actually go through all of our in-dash stuff. So that's where I can scroll up or down on the steering wheel and look at everything we can look at on the radio, I can do over here. Back out. This is the main thing. So you got your driving assist, you got your service. Your service is where your DEF gauge will be. So if I would click on service, now it says you have 0 messages, which are engine messages. Additive is the next one down. So that is actually where it's going to show you that DEF level. Back. Tires are going to be your tire level. And again, it has to be driving for at least a minute or a few minutes. It might come on right away. It might take a couple miles, and then it will tell you tire pressure. Okay, back out. Driving assist is going to be kind of your lanes there. That's your avoidance system. Go this way is trip, just like any other vehicle. That's your trips. We can bring navigation up on this screen. Your radio from over there. Media would be is if I was playing music from my phone or anything, I can control that from here. There's your phone for hands-free calling. And then we also have the settings. It is also there. Okay, now we'll actually come over here to the middle. Over in the middle, I'll start down low. So down low, it's going to be really, really hard to see, but there is an outlet down here. So you got a 12-volt outlet. And then down below that, there's actually a little square cutout that will actually fit this key. So if your batteries are almost dead in here, it'll allow you to put this in that little square cutout, which puts it right beside the module down there, which will allow you to still start your vehicle if the batteries are almost dead in here. So if you're pushing this and it won't unlock, won't do anything, won't start, try that down there, because that's what that's for. All right, so now coming above that, there's one button in the middle here for a push button. That actually controls your sliding door in the back. And again, we can push it and we can stop it at any location that we want to. In the middle here, you have all your climate control. AC is here. Defrost. 4-way hazards are right in the middle. You have your max defrost, recirculation, and minimum defrost. Or rear defrost on the right side there. All right, on this little dial here, you're gonna flip up or down like that. That actually is changing your fan speeds. And then on the left is actually thermostat, so how warm or cold you want it. It's all digital right there in the middle. It tells you what's going on. Coming above that, we have the camera. If I would push that, that brings up that rear camera. Pushed again, takes you back out. Telephone is here, so that's going to bring up your phone. This is if you don't want to use the touchscreen. You can push these buttons down here. Navigation and map. Radio takes you back to the radio. That takes you back out to the home. This one down below will actually take you to your avoidance systems. So that's where we can do settings. If I push that, it will actually bring up the settings of that. This here is scrolling through. If I had a Bluetooth device connected, that is scrolling through my music on that Bluetooth device. And then you have mute and power to the radio up here. Otherwise, everything's touchscreen. So phone first. Right down at the bottom is that Bluetooth button. Push that. And say no device is connected. You can connect a new device. And then now it walks you through. You can now connect your vehicle, my van, to your device Bluetooth. So that's the name you're looking for on your Bluetooth settings, is My Van. Once you see My Van, connect to that. That will connect to this system. Back out. Navigation is here. There's two buttons on the bottom. One has a checkered flag on it. That will take you to your current route that you have programmed in there. The other one is a home button. So if you have a address listed as home, I can just push that one button and it will take me to the home position. Otherwise, touch navigation brings you into navigation. All we got to do is go down here, where to. We're going to click that and then start typing whatever destination you want or points of interest that you want. Over here would be the cancel a destination if I had it in there. I can mute the navigation. Here is just route overview, report traffic incident, traffic on there. Next one over is going to be settings of the map. On the right side here, this 3D, we can either change it from 3D, we can go to 2D, or we can just go straight north, which is just, it's always going to show north. Okay. Up here is parking. Pretty much Mason City, it's going to tell you the nearest parking. Let's bring the radio back up. After it's been on so long, it will shut itself down. So I'll bring it back up. All right, and this is just up in that top right-hand corner. It says no notifications. Any of that, you can trash the settings or trash a route or any of that stuff up here, or any notifications. And then I can push home. It's going to take me back out to that main screen. Sliding sideways. Now we have radio. So I can go into the radio. And then you have favorites down the bottom. You have your tuning right here, the arrows, right to left. And then we also have radio settings down at the bottom, or you can type a station in. AM, FM, and Sirius XM are listed up top. Now we can go back out. Media would be, again, if I had a phone or an iPad or something connected Bluetooth to the system, this is where I'm going to play the music off of that. Now we'll come over here to information. So on information, we have a couple things. So we can look at our engine, and it's just going to tell us oil temps, RPMs, stuff like that. Just information that we would have over here can be over there. We also have consumption, which is fuel consumption. It's going to tell you in the last 30 minutes, last hour, what it's been doing for fuel consumption. And then we also have operator's manual. So again, that's your whole operator's manual on the dash, which is kind of nice. If you're looking for something, you can do it right up here. Back out to home, Mercedes Pro and apps. So
what do you want to do?
So you can connect a smartphone here. So we have Android Auto or we have Apple CarPlay. We do have to connect it with a USB-C actually cord. Is the only way. It doesn't use Bluetooth to do it. You have to connect it with a cord. Then pretty much that's going to mirror your phone up onto here. And then you have browser, and that's just browsing the apps. Go back out. And then we have settings. So if I go in here, so we have quick access, which is going to be traction control. You have your parking assist, and then we also have your lane assist. So your lane assist is actually gonna, if you cross the lane without a blinker on, it's gonna actually pull you back. It actually engages the brakes to actually kind of pull you back into your lane, and then it will notify you that you crossed the line pretty much. This is where we can turn those systems on or off. So if I push that, it's off. Parking assist, you can shut that off. Now if I go over to assist, traffic sign, this is where we can kind of look at those settings. Camera and parking, active brake assist, blind spot. And if I scroll up, attention assist, it actually is looking at you if you're getting tired, if any of that stuff, it will actually notify you of that. So it's paying attention to your driving habits pretty much. Vehicle, it's going to be locks, door locks, gas station search, standby mode, any of that stuff. So lights is going to be locator light, external light switch off, internal light switch off. Again, these are just settings, kind of we can control lights and stuff like that in here. And then we have system. System is going to be all the settings for the display, the controls, audio. Go up, you have your Wi-Fi. This is where we set our time and date on this. So the time and date that we set on the radio actually comes over here and sets the time on the dash too. So you have to do it through this system. That's for language, units, license, activity. Yep. So back out. Over. The other thing I can do is scroll up. And we have favorites. So just by scrolling up, gets us to a favorites menu. And we can customize this menu any way you want to. So you can change things around, do whatever you want to, put it in what order you want to. You also have the ability to set up profiles. So if you're going to have multiple people driving, you can set up profiles, and each person can have its own profile, each setting the way they want it, everything, and it will jump back and forth. So if I push profile, general settings, guest, create profile. So it's kind of nice just to have all your settings already set for you. You just push your name, it comes up. Back out. We do also have, anytime I say Mercedes, hey Mercedes.
How can I help you?
So it's hey Mercedes, sorry. Then they're going to ask what you want, pretty much. And if they can't find it, then...
What can I do for you?
Yep, they'll keep asking. Okay, so again, that was hey Mercedes, and then that brings that up. All right. Other than that, there's a lot of features to that radio. And again, all those features can be brought over here to the dash. So we can kind of do them here, kind of keep your attention on the dash driving-wise instead of over here. Up above the radio here, we do have a little push button. Opens up that top console, which this is where we have all of our connections for USB-C ports. And there's 3 of them up there. One of them ties to here. The other 2 are just charging ports. But you got to make sure you have the right cord, pretty much, to attach them. Okay, the other thing down low, right beside the steering wheel down here, is actually all of our 4-wheel drive controls. So you have 4-wheel drive high, and we have 4-wheel drive low down there. So that's where we actually engage that. Okay, now we'll actually move completely opposite and go up to the ceiling. All right, up here on the ceiling, we do have a couple more controls than we had before. We do have eyeglass holder. We have an SOS button. It does have like a missile control on it. They push, opens it. Do not push that button unless you are actually in an emergency. It will call the local police department, whatever, and get you help. So don't push it unless you actually are in an emergency. All right, we have lighting controls up here. So these are all lighting controls for reading lights, whether we want the lights to come on when the doors open and close. Any of the light controls for up here are going to be right here. On the left side here is pretty much like an OnStar, but it's the Mercedes version of that. So if you need assistance, right there's that button. Visors, all that stuff are pretty much the same, flip down. We do have assist handles up there, up there. Above, we do have a new metal skin up here, which is kind of nice. Other than that, there's a lot of new features up here. Any questions on them, you know, go to your manual. Your manual is going to walk you through a lot of this stuff. If not, watch the video or call us and we'll walk you through it. But there's a lot of new features, a lot of new tech up here, which is kind of nice. It's kind of exciting. Other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all we have up front here. Hopefully this video was helpful, and hopefully you get a new Revel and enjoy it. Have a good day.